Herbs. Next, I've got salting agent. Salting agent, this is fun. I love this. This is, we know what this is. Fish sauce. It's my favorite ingredient in the kitchen. It doesn't smell so good, but it tastes really good. It adds a nice, not only does it season the dish, it adds umami, like savoriness to your dish without the need of MSG. We use this in almost everything. It's a problem if you are a vegetarian. So when you go to a Thai restaurant, might be something you want to ask. To choose, we don't use salt, rarely. The only time we do use salt is in dessert, because this would not be good in dessert. And sometimes we use salt if we don't want the liquid nature of this. So making curry paste, we don't want to add any liquid to it, so we use salt. Sometimes we use salt in combination with fish sauce, because if you're making something that's a little bit milder flavored and you don't want the fishiness to overpower it, use it in combination and you tone it down a little bit, okay? So a good bottle of fish sauce ages. Unlike a bottle of wine, it ages in a bad way. Once you open it, it'll get darker and more opaque. And when that happens, it turns from good fishy to bad fishy. Okay, a fresh bottle of fish sauce should be reddish brown and clear enough that you should be able to see stuff in the other side of the room. If it's dark and opaque, it's old. So to make, you technically don't have to store this in the fridge, but if you do, it will make it last longer. Make sure the cap is tightly sealed, it'll last you longer. My mom actually no longer buys big bottles, she only buys little ones, then she doesn't have to worry about it going off too much. Okay, so that's fish sauce. Other salting agent that we use a lot is soy sauce and oyster sauce. Oyster sauce, any brand will do. This is a Thai brand, but any of them will work. Soy sauce, on the other hand, Thai soy sauce is different from Chinese and Japanese soy sauce, quite dramatically. It's lighter in color and the fragrance is different. So if you can get your hand on a bottle of these, it's really cheap. Everything here is cheap. It'll make a difference in a lot of your dishes. Now, soy sauce and oyster sauce is a Chinese influence on Thai cuisine. The Chinese gave out a lot of things, including these, as well as the art of stir frying. So naturally, we use these most often in stir-fry dishes. Okay? There's other kinds of soy sauces that we use, but as part of the basic pantry, just worry about these two. You can come up and take a look. I'm not going to talk about all of these, but if you're interested to see what else I have, all this comes from my house. You can come up later on and taste them. So that's our salt. Next are acids. Thai cuisine does not use vinegar in cooking. We use vinegar only for pickling and for tableside seasoning and things like that, but when we cook, we use fruits, fruit acid. Two major sources, lime juice and tamarind juice. Lime juice we use a lot in cold applications and in soups. Although if you're adding this to soup, you want to make sure the soup is done, turn it off, then add the lime. If you cook lime juice or lemon juice, and this applies all across all cuisines, you lose that refreshing citrusy flavor that lime is good for. So you don't want to cook it. That's why we use this a lot in our salads and dips. Tamarind, on the other hand, you can use in hot and cold application. It's a major ingredient in pad Thai. The acidity of tamarind is a little bit, not as sharp as lime. It's got a little bit of a sweetness that rounds it off. It's also thicker, so it'll give body and color to whatever dish you're making. Now, tamarind comes from this. This is tamarind fruit. Looks like dried fruit, but it's not dried. This is, the way it is. Sometimes you can buy them already made in a juice. It's usually called concentrate, I think. But sometimes you see this block of pulp. I think you've seen this. And basically you just have to turn this into juice. And I have a short tutorial video on my website on how to do that. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and look that up. All right, so that's our acids. Next are sweets. We use two different types of sugar, granulated white sugar and palm sugar. Now originally, we only used palm sugar because it was all we had. Granulated sugar came into Thailand later and it became popular because it's convenient. I mean, this is easy to use. This is not so easy to use, but this doesn't have the beautiful caramelly flavor that this contains. So If you can, cook with palm sugar. What you do is you can take it and chop it with a knife like you would shave a block of chocolate, or I pound it in my mortar and pestle and it just breaks into chunks like this. I can eat it like candy. You're more than welcome to come and eat this afterwards. Obviously this needs heat and liquid to dissolve. So in cold application, I make a palm sugar syrup. Just cook down some sugar with some water and keep it in a bottle like this so it's convenient when I go to use it in the salad and things like that. I don't have to worry about dissolving it or anything. But what sugar to use? My rule of thumb is if the sugar plays a major role in the dish, or if the dish is delicate flavored, use palm sugar because you will benefit from it. But if a dish is really strong flavored and the sugar is only a teaspoon here and there, don't need to worry about it. Granulated sugar will work just fine. All right, so that's our sweets. What's my next one? Others. The others category. Bless you. Coconut milk. Coconut milk in Thai cuisine is used in the same way that milk and dairy and cream are used in Western cuisine. It's to give richness, body, a smooth mouthfeel, all that good stuff. Except in Thai cuisine, we use zero dairy at all, nothing in any form whatsoever. So coconut milk does that job. Coconut milk comes in many, many forms. Which one to use, right? You got canned, you got this, you got powdered, you got frozen. I've seen lots of different types. Let me preface you with this. When I was little, one of my tasks in the kitchen was to make coconut milk. And that sounds cool and everything, but it was tedious. It was a long, time-consuming process. And on the one hand, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. But on the other hand, it's really hard to match the quality of a freshly made coconut milk. In my experience, this comes the closest to a fresh coconut milk. This says 100% coconut milk, and that's what you want. The canned stuff is fine for the most part, but they usually contain preservatives, additives, thickeners, emulsifiers. It's thicker than than fresh coconut milk. And the flavor is no longer similar to a freshly made coconut milk, so I always prefer this one. Having said that, I haven't tried all the brands, so I can't say, but from what I've tried. Another reason why canned coconuts don't work so well in Thai cuisine sometimes is when we make curries, we want to separate, we want to cook the coconut so long that the fat breaks away from the coconut milk, but it seems like they have homogenized this to stabilize the fat, and that doesn't happen. Frustrated me a lot when I tried to make curries and I didn't know that, and I used this, and the coconut milk was not separating for me. So that's that. If you have cans sitting at home, don't throw it out, use it anyway. I'm just saying that that's the one that I prefer. Other than that, I've also got curry paste. Curry paste comes in many different brands, many different forms. Most of you are probably familiar with about 5 major ones: red, yellow, green, Panang, and Masaman. These are some familiar names, right? In reality, there are hundreds of different kinds. In fact, curry paste is essentially indefinite as well, because technically you can make your own and make your own proprietary signature blend and make it however you want. If you're the kind of person who loves making things from scratch, I have a tutorial video on how to make it with a mortar and pestle old school, and it's a great experience, but it does require time and love and commitment. And if you don't have one of those, these work just fine. I've had really good experience with these. They don't usually contain any additives. It's just straight up paste of herbs and spices. The only thing you need to worry about is different brands have different levels of spice. So if your spice tolerance is not very high, Maploy brand I think is generally milder than some other brands that I've tried. So those are ingredients. So that's all I'm going to talk about right now. And what I'm going to move on next is to talk about the structure of some of the dishes.